We live in a world that sells us solutions to problems we didn't know we had. Don't feel pretty enough? Here is a $50 serum. Stressed? Retail therapy will fix it. Bored? Scroll and shop, the algorithm knows you. Overconsumption is neither environmentally friendly nor human friendly. It's making us forget who we are. Every time we buy to fill a void, we hand over a piece of our identity to corporations that profit from our restlessness and anxiety. In the first part of the video, I invite you to explore why we get stuck in the overconsumption loop. And by the way, this can happen to anyone, even to the most intentional critical thinkers. And in the second part of the video, I will suggest you 5 easy steps to beat overconsumption, and they are more like self-exploration practices. Before getting out of the trap or the loop, it is important to understand it, first of all. Not to deny it, not to fight it, but to see it with full attention and honesty. So why do we people get so addicted to overconsumption? There are 3 major reasons. We have confused having with being. Modern identity is performance-based. People's gadgets, clothes, and even coffee orders are treated as their personal branding. French anthropologist Marcel Mauss showed that in many indigenous cultures, possessions were meant to be circulated and not accumulated. A person's worth came from what they gave instead of what they had. Compare this to our current reality when we pay for storage units to hold things that we have forgotten we own. We've been conditioned to believe that purchases are legitimate rewards, that after a hard day, we deserve that impulse buy, that little treat-yourself moment. Marketing teams exploit this by framing consumption as self-care, and then eventually we get used to outsourcing our emotional regulation to corporations. Every time we click buy now to escape discomfort, we reinforce the neural pathway that says consumption equals relief, making it harder and harder to sit with our feelings. Instead of healing, we accumulate. Instead of confronting what hurts, we numb ourselves with yet another package on the way. The rise of one-click purchases, same-day delivery, and ridiculously abundant marketplaces has rewired our relationship with buying, turning it into an effortless reflex. The easier it becomes to acquire, the less we value what we own, and thus it creates a loop where the real thrill lies in the chase and not in the possession itself. Late-night browsing, which is often a coping mechanism for stress and insomnia, turns into unchecked purchasing. In a world of uncertainty, these small, instant transactions become anchors that ground us and that give us at least some sense of certainty and stability. But of course, all this is an illusion. Those are just 3 biggest reasons why we can get caught in the loop of overconsumption, and for each person this list can be expanded by dozens or even hundreds of unique reasons. For example, for me, the overconsumption episodes usually stem from a scarcity mindset or different fears that I have. And now let's move on to the 5 easy ways that you can use to beat overconsumption. Or if you are already an intentional consumer, these practices can help deepen your understanding of your own spending habits. This is what I do because, after all, I'm a human, and from time to time I fall prey to marketing, comparison, and anxiety. Investigate your online purchase history and ask yourself, which items do you actually still use or love? Which ones were bought to numb stress or boredom? Do you see patterns? maybe late night splurges, post-work impulse buys. Don't be too harsh on yourself. Approach this practice with a lot of self-compassion. It's all about recognizing when shopping is a band-aid and when it's a real choice. If you want to go deeper with this practice, try to track the next 10 purchases of yours, giving a one-word reason for each of them. Leave one shelf or surface in your home intentionally bare and then notice how often you're tempted to fill it, the anxiety its emptiness provokes, and after some time, maybe a few days, a week, a month, observe what actually belongs there, if anything. This experimental practice can reveal whether we have a compulsive need to occupy all space, be it physical or mental, and whether our mind treats vacancy as a problem to solve rather than a neutral state. Most often, I do this with my headspace, leaving it empty, and this helps beat media or information overconsumption a lot. Although I'm not a huge fan of Stoic philosophy, especially in its modern interpretation, I find their practice of premeditatio malorum, or anticipation of evils, quite interesting to use for beating overconsumption. What you can do is to imagine loss, to appreciate what you already have. Walk through your home and pretend that you've lost everything, and then ask yourself, what would you truly miss? As I'm getting ready for a new big move that will happen pretty soon, I'm in the process of reassessing my possessions. Once again, before I've promised to myself that I would never accumulate unnecessary stuff anymore, but it happened. Again, I don't know, I'm just a human and I'm learning to be humble and to observe my own experiences and just be self-compassionate, all those things. So now I am revaluing my possessions and reassessing them from position of what I will be willing to put in my backpack and my suitcase, assuming that I will have to drag all that using my own body, my own back. So whether I'm ready to sacrifice my health, my effort, physical effort to save this or that thing. Oftentimes, we don't have a clue what we will really miss in our life and what we will forget in a split second after that thing is gone. I share more details about my life in more personal and vlogish weekly videos on Patreon, with all the things that I find comfortable talking about in a smaller circle. If you're interested to join it, the link will be down below. When the urge to buy strikes, pause and dissect it. Write down or just have a mental dialogue with yourself. Ask yourself, what am I really feeling? Maybe it's stress, boredom, or insecurity. And what do I actually need? Is it sleep, connection, or creative expression? Then wait 72 hours. If the craving vanishes, then it was never about the item and it was just a temporary emotional band-aid. This practice is not about denying yourself, it's about spotting the difference between wanting and needing. Real desires exist even after you give them time to mature, while impulsive ones evaporate. If you track at least 3 such episodes, you will get to meet your personal spending triggers. And the last but not least step is for those who are like me and who don't shy away from the topics that are usually considered dark and maybe socially awkward. Imagine for a moment that someone you love is carefully sorting through your belongings after you're gone. What might they discover? What would you be embarrassed they found too much of? What few items would truly tell your story? And how does this perspective shift what you want to acquire now? This practice is not meant to make you feel guilty. It's an invitation for you to imagine, what do you want your surroundings to say about you when you are no longer there to explain them. The answer might greatly simplify your next purchase decision or add a very unexpected depth to it. Apart from clutter and unnecessary spending, overconsumption is about distraction. Distraction from ourselves, from our real needs, from knowing that we are already enough. When we pause, question, and choose with intention, we not only buy less, but we get to know ourselves more. Feel free to share in the comments your thoughts and experiences. How do you address your own consumption patterns and why? And what you think about the current social culture that urges us to buy more than we need and more than we even want. Let's connect and discuss. Thank you so much for your time, attention, and support of my work, dear friends. For now, as always, be safe and keep your heart open. And I will see you soon. Пока-пока.